Aw, snap, it's Friday. You know what that means. For Get Science with Kenan, we about to turn up. You know what? I'm gonna tell you about science with unicorns, and you don't even know science. Yeah, I don't think you quite understand the science of alcohol, but let me explain it to you. Hey, that's me. Hey, and welcome to this week's episode of Science with Kenan, where we're going to talk about the science behind drinking alcohol. Now, hopefully, for those of you under the age of 21, this episode will help convince you that pounding alcohol isn't as cool as the movies make it seem. And for those of you over the age of 21 who may or may not have had one or two drunken moments in your life, hopefully this will explain just why you get so wasty-faced. Okay, so we all know that you get drunk from drinking alcohol. Duh. But what is it about this boozy beverage that happens to bewilder our brains? I mean, beer, wine, and liquor all seem to be relatively different from each other, yet when you drink too much of any of them, they all have the same outcome. This is because what's actually getting us drunk, whether it's spritzers or hard alcohol, is really a molecule known as ethyl alcohol, or ethanol. Ethanol is the only form of alcohol that our bodies can actually break down. And while our bodies can break it down, ethanol itself is still a toxin within our bodies. What? That's right, the alcohol that we drink is actually poisonous to us. Yet for some reason we think it's a great idea to chug it down for every party, holiday, and any other reason we can come up with. Yo, dude, it's Wednesday. Oh, heck yeah! Hump day! When we drink alcohol, the ethanol is absorbed directly into our bloodstream through our stomach and small intestines. You can reduce how quickly the alcohol is absorbed into your system by pre-gaming your drinking with a hearty meal of proteins, starches, and fats. Proteins and fats can help by slowing down your digestion and the rate of absorption of the alcohol, while starches provide sugar to make sure that your blood sugar stays decently high. As a rule of thumb, if you are going to drink, you should always drink on a full stomach. This will help space out the absorption of alcohol and give your liver more time to filter out that toxic ethanol. All the while allowing you to enjoy your drinking experience over a longer period of time. While food and even sugary mixers such as juices can help slow down the absorption of alcohol, carbonated beverages on the other hand can increase the absorption rate. Drinks like beer, champagne, and even carbonated sodas release carbon dioxide in your stomach, which can increase the pressure and force more of that ethanol through your stomach lining. That pressure is what causes us to feel bloated from drinks like beer or whiskey cokes, and our body tries to release that pressure by releasing that gas in the form of belches. Nice. Once alcohol enters your bloodstream, your liver immediately starts trying to break down all the ethanol that it can. Unfortunately, it takes 2 steps to break down that ethanol. First, the ethanol is broken down into an even more toxic substance called acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is highly toxic and is in part responsible for that crappy feeling we get the next day that we call a hangover. Once the ethanol has been converted into acetaldehyde, it can then be broken down into a more harmless substance called acetate, which we then pee out. Unfortunately, our liver can only break down about 12 grams or half an ounce of ethanol per hour. This is what you normally find in a standard drink. Now, a standard drink is going to be dependent on the concentration of alcohol, but in general, hard liquor is usually about 1 shot or 1 1/4 ounces. For wine, it's about 1 glass or 4 ounces. And a standard drink of beer is about 1 can or 12 ounces. So if you think about it that way, 1 beer is equal to 1 standard drink. 1 bottle of wine is equal to about 5 standard drinks. And 1/5 of alcohol is equal to 17 standard drinks. So in theory, it should take you about 17 hours to finish that bottle of whiskey. Now, when we drink more alcohol than our liver can break down, say 2 standard drinks within an hour, that excess ethanol continues to run through our bloodstream. That excess ethanol in your blood can be measured through something called your blood alcohol concentration, or your BAC. Essentially, a BAC measures the percentage of your blood that is currently made up of pure alcohol. So a BAC of 0.15 means that 0.15% of all your blood is made up of pure alcohol. That's the equivalent of having a pint of whiskey running through your veins. In most states, a BAC of 0.08 is considered to be legally drunk. At this point, most people's judgment and coordination starts to become impaired. I got it! Oh! Most people start to lose consciousness, or black out, at a BAC around 0.2, and a BAC of 0.45 is considered lethal for the average adult. Alright, I get it, I'm scared. Alcohol's a poison, my body can only process 1 drink per hour, yada yada. But I want to know why we get drunk. I mean, why does 12 shots of Fireball make me see double? Why does tequila make my clothes fall off? And why do I always have to pee? Ah, so you want to know what causes the symptoms of drunkenness. Well, for that, we have to travel from the liver to the brain. Unfortunately, we're all out of time for today, so you have to tune back in next week for part 2 on the science of consuming alcohol. Until then, stay awesome and keep curious, friends.